Hi guys, I'm Chris.
And I'm Jimmy.
And we are the Two Stocky Guys.
On this channel, we invest $1,000 into the stock market every week. And hopefully we stay solvent to continue doing it and tell you guys how it goes. Yeah. All right, so let's look at what we have in our portfolios so far. Chris, on your side, you have AMD, ConocoPhillips, Realty Income Corp, and Prudential. You are only down $177 as of today from a $4,000 investment. Mm-hmm. And then on my side, I'm down a little over $100. And I have Bank of America, Devon Energy, JP Morgan, Charles Schwab, and my latest pick, which is Pfizer. And I'm also down a ton.
Yeah, just like everybody else right now.
The bank stocks and the energy stocks have really plummeted the last couple weeks. Yeah. Those are the stocks that we've sort of gravitated for on this for our portfolio on this channel, and they're not doing that well.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
Yeah. So let me talk about why I chose Pfizer as my pick for the last week. First, I would like to say that this is not the creme a la creme of pharmaceutical stocks, right? So I think if I had to say, like, what's the best pharmaceutical stock right now, just the best one, I would say it's Eli Lilly, right?
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think I would agree with you. There might be one other one that I would put up there, but Eli Lilly is definitely in the top three.
Yeah, like, if you're talking about, like, what's the Apple, right, or the NVIDIA of pharmaceuticals, it's Eli Lilly right now, right? That their stocks has just been like, whew. They have a weight loss drug that's just like blowing up their stock. Yeah. I think they also have a good pipeline for like Alzheimer's.
Diabetes drugs too, which that's a pretty big market at this point, is treating diabetes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pfizer is not Eli Lilly.
Yeah, they don't have that niche in the market for sure. Yeah.
So I chose Pfizer. One is that, like, Eli Lilly, I feel it's just really, I would call it, like, quote unquote expensive or hyped up. Everyone has really high expectations for all their drugs. Right. So I think that's all priced in. If they do well, you'll go up a little bit. I feel like if there's any information that side effects or basically anything,
go down.
The downside is probably a little bit higher than the upside.
Right.
Pfizer, on the other hand, I bought Pfizer just because, like, no one expects anything of Pfizer. I think all the negatives are probably already priced in. People are like, they don't have a really good pipeline. Right. And I would say it's probably weaker than Eli Lilly's, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Most people know Pfizer because of COVID, and COVID's much less of an issue. So you expect, like, all the money they got from their COVID drugs, it's probably going to be significantly toned down. Yeah. And it has.
Yeah, right? the income part at least.
Right. And then they bought Seagate, or they're acquiring Seagate, which they bought to boost their cancer pipeline. Right. And people thought that they paid too much for it. Okay, so, like, all these bad things. Yeah. And I think that all the bad things have already been priced into the stock. Right. So I think that, like, just a little good news.
Yeah, any good thing could have it take off, whereas it's the opposite with Eli. Any bad thing is going to have it plummet, basically.
Yeah, I'm just kind of, like, imagining, like, what's the news that's going to make Pfizer really plummet? Yeah. Right? Like, what else is there?
Yeah, and I will say they do have a lot of drugs in their pipeline. Right. So, I mean, they might not have a very exciting pipeline, but they do have a lot of things in there. Yeah. And usually with R&D in these research companies, you really only need one or two winners. Right. Like, they just trash most of everything that they come up with in the early phases, and they already have several things in phase 3.
Yep. It's very hard, even for people who are in the medical field, to really have, like, a firm understanding of how these drugs are going to perform. Just like when COVID hit, everyone was trying to create this vaccine. Right. And like, who knew that, like, Pfizer was going to be the one, right? Who knew Moderna was going to be the one? Yeah. You probably would have bet on, like, Johnson & Johnson, or you would have bet on, like, Eli. Like, there were other companies to bet on. And I don't know. I feel like after helping us with COVID, right? I feel like Pfizer, I don't know. I just have, like, a good feeling about this sort of, like, underdog now that sort of saved the world from this pandemic, but now like everyone's sort of counting them out.
Yeah.
So then I was like, well, if I want to bet that these COVID players were still relevant, right? Like, why did I pick Pfizer over Moderna, which I also like Moderna?
Right.
I picked Pfizer because they have a dividend.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you know, you're getting paid to wait
Right.
and, you know, see how they perform.
Yeah, Moderna is kind of the technology they're using for their vaccine pipeline is very new. They're kind of going all in like the RNA thing. That's their thing pretty much. So they do have a lot of interesting drugs in their pipeline, but I would estimate that most of those are probably going to fail, honestly. So
Right.
I don't know how much upside there really is going to be to Moderna at this point. So yeah, I would probably go with Pfizer also.
Yeah, but you know, people are also counting Moderna out, and I guess I really can't blame them. I mean, they're making way less money now that you know COVID isn't so much of a thing.
Yeah, I mean, they were essentially a new company whenever they came out with the COVID vaccine. So they went from nothing to 100 immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, it feels very weird that one of the biggest challenges humanity has faced, Moderna helped us do that, and now everyone thinks that they're just like a crappy pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you think that technology is just like now totally worthless when there's just tons and tons of viruses out there. Anyways, I can tell you lots of reasons why you shouldn't pick Pfizer.
Yeah.
Their graphs don't look pretty. Like, if you see like the year to date, it's just like this downward slope. You know, I'm not sure if people want to catch the falling knife.
Right.
I think if you zoom out and you look at like the 5-year or a little bit longer, you kind of see like even before COVID and even before their spikes, like they were hovering around what, like the $40 mark. So, you know, they're a little less than that now.
Right.
And then I see like the lowest they went was $28. Yeah, you know. But again, it's just like, if you look at their 1 year or the last several months, it's not really the stock that you kind of would bet that much on, you know?
Yeah.
Let's see what else is there. Their dividend, they've been growing their dividends for 12 years. And they've been paying a dividend for 33 years.
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing else, the dividend will work.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, this is one of those companies that I don't expect a whole lot of growth out of. I think it is trading at a good price right now.
Yeah.
So I think you'll definitely get some appreciation. I don't think that it's going to go down and you're going to take a loss there. And then you also have the pretty nice dividend that you're getting with it. And I would say it looks like it's a pretty safe dividend also.
Right.
I can see them continuing to grow that. Right. Probably nothing spectacular, but growing at a conservative rate still.
Yeah. Well, I think that's about it for Pfizer. So great dividend play, underdog pharmaceutical play.
I would say mildly undervalued right now too, so that's positive.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to cross my fingers that this goes well, but we'll keep you guys updated. That'll be it for this episode. Till next time, guys.
Bye.